Hi.
Nice to see you.
Very happy to finally meet you, even though online, and then to talk about this amazing project that you have created.
I am honored actually. I've been in talks with Peter for quite some time now, and we've been off and on because of our environment and the situation we were in as a project. It wasn't, or rather, it isn't very easy for startups in this part of the world. So we're just trying to strap and keep moving. But so far, we've made good progress.
Great. So, please, I'm very interested, and whomever will listen also to our program, it's interesting to know what is NiMEDix. Like, how did you come with the idea and creating it? What is the core ideology? What's the mission? And what's the novelty that they will bring to the healthcare system? Like, if there is any problem, what NiMEDix will solve? I give the word to you.
Yeah. NiMEDix actually it's part of the solution we propose. How it started, it took me quite a lot of time to get into medical school and going through medical school, and the challenge is quite it's the same like everywhere in the country. It's quite difficult to study medicine, and it's obvious that the shortage of doctors in Nigeria, it makes the news every time healthcare makes the news in Nigeria. We have a very huge population, over 206 million, and there are barely 40,000 doctors in the country. So it's not a very good picture, generally speaking. So the waiting times in the hospitals are quite lengthy. Waiting times can range between 2 hours in very good facilities to as much as 14, 16 hours to get to see a doctor. So it causes a lot of mortalities. And I experienced it myself. I lost my elder brother and I lost my father to both treatable and preventable diseases. So at that time, I was still a young person. I just wanted to go into university. So I was a science student, so I put up for medicine, and that was it for me. So several years along the line, the problem did not change. I had to go under the tutelage of my uncle, which was my sponsor, which again died because of late diagnosis. He had a condition that was not diagnosed early. He later traveled to India and a whole lot of stuff. Then his wife again. So that made me understand or connect with the problem directly. So how can we make the health sector more efficient? Because after a whole lot of work and research done, two problems we found. One was medical tourism, we as a company tried to address. The other was medical brain drain. And the underlying causes of these two problems were practically the same for every scenario we try to paint, every picture we try to paint, the problem is still the same. People leave the country for better healthcare because they want an efficient system. They want a system that works, not necessarily because there are better doctors out there. They just want a system that will do things when due. You make your diagnosis when due, you get drugs when due, and all of that. So efficiency was a big problem, or is a big problem in Nigeria. The health sector is very, very inefficient. Then the second component of the big picture of the problem is lack of medical equipment. Over time, it makes the news, lack of equipment, it mitigates research and all of those. So these were the two angles we discovered we could solve in one swipe, because you can solve the problem of inefficiency using technology, and you can solve the problem of lack of equipment if you can raise funds, if you can Yeah, so that made blockchain and technology at that time a perfect fit. So we started the project developing on the blockchain alone. So along the line, we saw that it wouldn't be enough because you need more doctors. You can't shop doctors on Amazon, obviously. So you need more doctors. And we can't make more doctors in a hurry. So this means we will have to find a way to make the available doctors more efficient. And that pointed us to the direction of AI.
Sure.
And we were fortunate to meet a platform that had both blockchain and the AI component in one place, which is the Burst IQ platform, which I believe we'll talk about later. So that is where we came about using the blockchain and the AI to solve the problems around the inefficient system and the lack of medical equipment. Then the other component is about the tokens of the NIM tokens. And we understand that problems do not stand in isolation.
Absolutely.
Other problems exert influence on a particular problem. So it will make me digress a little into the economic situation of Nigeria and Africa generally. It will be difficult for the government to say raise 200 million US dollars in 1 month, but using cryptocurrencies and the blockchain will have a very huge unemployment or unemployed youths in Nigeria that invest heavily in crypto. I just saw a research or an article lately that Nigerians spend as much as $10 million, I think weekly, trading cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
So, so this is like connecting the health sector to an entirely new economy. So NiMEDix is that bridge to connect the young people unemployed that trade cryptocurrencies to the health sector. So we can gather funds, buy equipment for hospitals, using our software, make the systems more efficient. So along the line, again, we had to add a third component to the tech, which is RPA, robotics process automation. And we got to discover that very few facilities in the country have proper scheduling applications. So what you'll be able to do with our platform, you will be able to schedule appointments. You will be able to automatically ring patients. A doctor does not need to call a patient and ask if they are taking their drugs as they should, or if they are complying with any kind of routine or something. The system can be automated. So you can get email reminders, you can get phone call reminders, you can even get a call to just remind you to go take your drugs or something. So we're trying to put all of that in one system. So that is about the software solution we provide as NiMEDix, the platform. Then the other component, like I said, is more of the hardware, because the truth is the challenges in the Western or developed societies is quite different from what we experience in Nigeria and Africa. While telemedicine, it's very, very efficient or maybe useful in the Western world, it may not have so much impact in this part of the world because the kind of conditions we have are quite different. If you see um, the causes of mortality in Nigeria and Africa, you will discover that maternal and child mortality is quite high. Um, Coupled with the fact that in the tropics, we have more of infectious diseases problems. So these challenges makes it telemedicine an augment. You can use it, but you need a doctor hands on.
Of course.
At times, yeah, for this
Yes.
condition, you need to see a doctor. So COVID-19 even made it worse.
I want to ask you,
COVID-19.
it came now, like, how situation with the COVID also there, how they're facing it.
Yes, COVID-19 had a kind of funny impact on the health sector generally. in Nigeria, and I think in African countries as well, not just Nigeria. People that get sick that think it's COVID-19 don't even go to hospitals at all because they don't want to get quarantined. They don't want to get quarantined. So everybody just stay where they are. So the number of patients in the hospitals, instead of or compared to the Western societies rising, it dropped. So that's a kind of situation. The impact of COVID-19 on Nigeria and Africa is more economical. It brought a lot of hardship because of the lockdowns. People didn't go out to trade and do their normal activities. So the impact was more economical than on the health side. Um, Given that the virus is quite unstable under certain temperatures, and I feel or it's an act of God, we didn't have a full-blown pandemic compared to other parts of the world that it's warmer here, so it's a kind of, it's not as severe as you find in the Western world. So that spared us a lot of healthcare problems, direct healthcare problems in Nigeria, generally speaking. So for us, we think that we have very few doctors. This application can be the front line. We don't need to expose our doctors to unnecessary harm. If we have a system that we can talk from home, we know if your symptoms are like that of COVID-19, we tell you, okay, this is what you do. You can go to this facility or you can do that. Else, there will be no point confronting patients because already the hospitals are quite full and clustered. So any case will be quite damaging to it will really spread really bad. So I feel we are Africans, Nigerians, we were somehow spared from the full brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah.
I have now a question that came by listening to you. Do you think that by this brilliant idea that NiMEDix hold, the technology, and using of blockchain and so on, do you think that NiMEDix is a solution for a sustainable healthcare system in Africa?
Yes, it will be difficult to say it's a silver bullet, but the problem is quite complex and it demands a lot of effort. But definitely AI will leapfrog the health sector, and the way we have applied it will definitely do a lot, not just temporarily. If we continue to build on it, we can have better AI systems that can help with decision support systems. Because AI is about data. You have to put in information to get. So we need to lay down that infrastructure, which is what NiMEDix has done, and it puts Nigeria in the forefront of using technology in healthcare. Though it's not where we want it to be at the moment, but once we get there and we get the necessary attention, we can begin to develop from where we have. It's way better than starting from scratch, because we started 2017. That was when we started building, and back then in 2017, we were talking about disease forecast and outbreaks detection. Okay. So at that time, we were just trying to use your mobile devices, Google locations, to tell their risk of exposure to certain diseases. So if the NiMEDix platform was fully running, Nigeria would have been able to contact trace COVID-19 with so much accuracy, as even as high as 99%, because it is completely reliant on where you have been, who you have had contact with. So I don't necessarily have to hear the news from Wuhan for AI system to pick the information that I've traveled to Wuhan and I might be exposed to the COVID-19 virus. So Nigeria would have been able to look into this data and say XYZ mobile devices have been in Wuhan. We need to send them emails. They need to be aware that they may have been exposed to COVID-19. So if the NiMEDix platform was running, I'd say NiMEDix would have been one platform that would have really made a difference, not just in Nigeria, all over the world, to trace COVID-19 spread.
Excellent. And what about, you mentioned before the token, NIM token. And now I would like to hear more about it. The utility, the function, and if people like wants to earn it, how they can do it, like how they can earn NIM token, and also is it like, can they use it to buy for services or as a means of payment?
The NiMEDix token is a utility token, and what we designed it to be, it's going to keep evolving, because we want people to begin to have control over their data. We want people to have their data. So I give an instance of where you've traveled to. So it's not by choice. If I travel anywhere, Google location has where I've been to. So as a patient, if you go to see a doctor, he might want to know your travel history. You may not remember all of them. If it's in your mobile device, it can be easily picked up in your profile. And such minor details can be used to mine the NiMEDix token. This is what we plan to do. We plan that people can use our platform. The more information they have on their health, the more coins they can have in their wallet, which will be tradable on the exchange, because we're trying to create a value system that that can allow for a whole lot of development. Like someone that has a rare disease condition can opt to share their data with a researcher and get paid for it. And the best way to go with such is a smart contract. That's where the world is headed, basically. So you can gamify, or you can monetize your healthcare data. You have full control. You can share, donate, whatever you want to do with your healthcare data. It's in your control. And blockchain gives you that granular control of every single thing you want to share.
Great. Now I'd like to go.
That's about the NiMEDix token. So it's more of a utility. It's going to be like in the back end. At the time we had the token out, there was no regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. So we're be careful. If you have a coin that can be used to purchase, that makes it illegal tender. And a lot of cryptocurrencies do not have such rights. So we leave it in the back end. I'll paint another scenario for you in our facilities. Say, for instance, I am seeing a patient right now on the bed. If I want to buy a syringe, I have to tell the patient or a relative to go to the pharmacy to cost it. When they get the cost, then they'll go and pay for it. When they go pay for it, they'll take it back to the pharmacy to get the syringe before it gets to me. Yeah, so it's an unnecessarily lengthy process. And it is so for audit purposes, to prevent fraud. So everything is, so it's just more of administrative delays leading to mortality. So using cryptocurrencies and using the blockchain, it is transparent. The audit, it's open to who you want to. You can have an access control list to who you want to see your transaction. So if I want to make a payment, I can make a payment right on from my dashboard, and the doctor confirms it. So a doctor can confirm a payment. So I don't need those unnecessary delays. So the cryptocurrencies will be in the back end, while the fiat and all of that can be in front end. So the platform is designed, we're still building, we're working with a company I wouldn't want to mention. It's a crypto fiat and fiat crypto ramp. So you can, when you make payments using fiat, in the back end, it transacts crypto. So no one has to see the crypto, or no one has to know about the technicalities of how it moves. Then on the other end, on the receiving end, it's a crypto fiat ramp. So if I am making payment to a bank or something, the platform will automatically pay fiat. So it makes transactions even way faster. So it eliminates that administrative delays, making payments for drugs and all of that. So in our white paper, we tried to illustrate as much as we could about the back and forth movement in the hospital facilities. So in an emergency, you know, every 10 minutes in an emergency, mortality increases by about 10%. So if you keep someone in an emergency for an hour, the chances that they may not survive is this high. So, so, um, so in our environment, one of the in even the fastest facilities, when you come in an emergency, you have to register a patient. When you register the patient, you go make payment. When you make payment for this, they take the payment and verify. When they verify, they go to the pharmacy to get the drugs. The pharmacist, that is if there is no queue, and there will always be queue. So it's crazy. It's crazy dealing with. The system is very, very inefficient, and most of this is administrative. So that's where we find RPA, robotics process automation, very, very useful. And even blockchain payments back end, very, very useful to cut down and make the system more efficient. Even test results can be checked online. And more to add, if you go to facility A and you run XYZ test, and after a while, a diagnosis is not made or you don't feel better, you go to another facility, you may be forced to repeat the same XYZ test. So if you go to 10 facilities, you may be forced to repeat the same routine test. So because there is no interoperability. But if this was on our platform, it will greatly improve interoperability. It reduces cost, because at the end of the day, what you want for your patient is access to care, good quality of care, and you want the care to be affordable. It needs to be for everyone. So those are the three things we have on the line, whatever we try to do. So it makes our solution quite how do I say it now? It's quite diverse. So we're not trying to do, when we try to do just one thing, we find that one solution solving so many other problems. So when we talk about it, it seems very unclear. But once our decentralized application is out, you can see the variety of things you have to do on the platform, which is quite simple and straightforward to use. It's not going to be really complex. So you can just see this and all of that.
By the way, I'm looking now at your website, and I would like to congratulate you. It's very well detailed. Like,
thank you
your
very much.
team have done an amazing job. Like, whomever wants to learn more, what is NiMEDix, the mission, the goals, the partnership, to know more about the team, everything, how to connect with NiMEDix, it's well detailed. It's like user friendly, and people can navigate so easily. Really, I honestly congratulate you for that.
Thank you very much.
It's a great job, and of course hard work, but it's worth it, really worth it, everything. So
thank you very much.
George, I see here partnerships. You have many partners which are like collaborating with NiMEDix, and this is great. Can you please tell us more about, maybe you can name a few of them, and what is this of course there's a mutual benefits, right? Or by
Yeah.
collaborating or being a partner with this projects, other projects or companies, you can name them a few and then you can tell us more in detail. um,
Okay.
can they help you in reaching your goal, the NiMEDix goal?
Yeah. First, I would like to mention of all our partners. I'll start from the order of from the technical component, because we are at this point focused more on the technical component. That's the software component of what we're trying to achieve. So I'll start with the Burst IQ platform.
Okay.
Yeah, the Burst IQ platform for us um, made available, I think, not I think, I know the most important component of what we are doing. Because if we were to build our own AI or machine learning algorithm or something, it's going to take us um, months, years, and lots of funds. So what the Boss IQ platform is like, it already built all of those for us, and any other person can use it as well. It perfectly integrated blockchain and AI in one place, and particularly suited for healthcare. So it's a private blockchain that blockchain gave us, Bust IQ gave us full access to. So um, normally it should cost around $200,000 and upwards to get such license, but the Bust IQ platform made that available for us at no cost.
Great.
So it's really huge for us. It gave us room to develop very, very quickly. So it moved us from like 1 year back to 10 years ahead.
Wow.
So it was a big leap for us from getting that license from the Bust IQ. So whatever we're building now, whatever we built, is just to integrate it to the blockchain and the AI, and we have full control of that. So it's really huge. So that's what Bust IQ is about. You can check them out, bustiq.com. Um, you can talk to them about NiMEDix as well. They know us very well. We've been talking. So if we have technical challenges as well, they get to help us out. They've helped us with developers and a whole lot. Yeah, Boost IQ has been that for us. Then the next is from the Nigerian side. The Nigerian blockchain user group founded by Chuta Chimeze. Chuta Chimeze has been one of the earliest supporters of the NiMEDix project. He's, he's a big name in Nigeria and Africa when you talk about blockchain. Chuta Chimeze. At the initial time when we were putting the white paper together, we showed it to him, and he assured us it's no easy task. It's going to be a lot of uphill swimming, but we should just keep pushing. And he has been very supportive after that. He has exposed us to many individuals in Nigeria and even outside of Nigeria, and we've gotten a lot of support from him. So the Blockchain Nigeria user group is one from Nigeria side. I consider the partnership very, very important to us.
Important, yeah.
Then we've worked with Applicator as well. Applicator is also one of the first companies we talked to, and they were also fascinated about the idea and how NiMEDix would work. But relationship didn't go that far. Though we're still talking, because we found out that what we're developing for the healthcare, particularly using the applicator platform, will be really, really expensive for us. It will be really, really expensive. So for what we can use them for, we still plan on using them like marketing. We still plan on working with them. Yeah, when we want to expand and get bigger, we still plan on working with applicator. Yeah, and other technical components of what we're doing, we might still um, shuffle back to them and ask one or two questions, but Applicator 2 has been a very supportive partner of NiMEDix. Then another I'd like to mention is the BitFXT exchange. It's a Nigerian exchange, and we decided to do our IEO there against all advice, because we wanted to start from our environment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it will be so much joy for me to see more young Nigerians participate in making the health sector better. So, and also get the opportunity to share in the wealth in AI,
Yeah,
and blockchain and the cryptocurrency space. So it connects the young people to that. So it would be awesome to see more Nigerians participate. So that was why we against advice use the BitFXT exchange. But so far they've also done a very good job for us. They've been very, very considerate with us as a startup, cutting down costs, helping us do this and that without paying for it, and all of that favors, stuff like that. So I will also mention BitFXT. Then there are other partners we have that we intend to share later. They're quite big, because one of the biggest problems startups have raising money in cryptocurrencies, apart from volatility, is security. How am I sure that if I give you my money, it's going to be safe? You're not just going to blow it all up and all of that. So we're working with a platform I will not mention now. It's a very established organization. So there can be like custodians. So if we want to engage very big investors that want to give some huge amounts of money, we can use them like third-party custodians. They are quite known, so we don't just we get a guide on how to spend, so we don't just spend all of the money and all of that. So we will talk about that platform later as we go on, but we wouldn't want to share the name of the company right now. Yeah.
but everything you said is very informative and insightful. Thank you, Ochocha. Very, very interesting what you are building, you and your team are building. And I wish you the best of luck, that everything goes as planned, even though there's ups and downs. Everything in life is ups and downs, but as far as you have the courage, the determination, everything can happen. Like everything plan will be real one day. So never give up. That's what I say.
Yeah, sure.
Please, let's talk about the features that NiMEDix offer. And you as CEO of NiMEDix, where do you see your project in goals development, mission development, and position in the healthcare system in Africa, let's say in 5 years?
Yeah, if
maybe even before. Let's say even before. It's too much.
Yeah, it's a big one. If, like I said earlier, if we were able to develop what we're doing way back 2019, I am sure NiMEDix would have been one of the biggest companies in the world today, given that would have been very effective for the COVID-19 pandemic. I understand and I know for sure that we have a clear knowledge of where we want to be in the next 5 years and more. Anything short will be even higher, because we have positioned ourselves such that we will stay relevant to the solutions in our environment. So I can't say if in 2017 you ask me where we'll be in 5 years, and I tell you we'll be here, and the COVID-19 pandemic came and we'll be like here.
Yeah.
So it changes everything. So we try to stay relevant, but I know for sure that in the next 5 years, given how much work we put in, if we get a whole lot of integrations and AI and blockchain continue to show the same promise, I am very sure we will definitely be making an impact in the health sector generally when it comes to even equipping hospitals or our software component helping doctors get better, making diagnosis, reducing error in diagnosis and all of that. In 5 years, we'll be long way along the line, hopefully. Yeah, so that's basically it. I wouldn't want to say too much about that.
And if you can name any feature, is it okay to say anything about features of NiMEDix?
Yeah, we have a telemed component where you can schedule appointments and all of that. It's um we have it's called a pathfinder actually. That was the initial name we gave it, the NiMEDix Pathfinder application. And to stay relevant and useful for our environment, I'll quickly paint a scenario for you. Where I stay, not every hospital can treat snake bite. I don't know about your environment, but not every facility can treat snake bite in my environment. So you get a lot of patients go to the wrong facility to get treatment for snake bite, only to get there and they're told, no, we can't treat snake bite here, you have to go here. And at times it might be extremes of the town. So given traffic and all of those, before they get there, it's a worse case. And snake envenomation it's an emergency. You have to deal with it right on, like immediately. So that time people spend trying to look for where to do what also increases mortality. And most of the time we just stay in our environment, we don't even know where to get what service. So the first place we go to when we have a problem is Google. And the next thing Google would do is to direct you to India or somewhere out of the country with the service you're looking for. That's just because there is no inventory in your environment. So we are building that inventory for facilities. We have it done already on the Google map. So what the Pathfinder does is, if you have a condition, say for instance, snake bite, and you open up our application, it can direct you to the closest facility that can deal with that problem.
Okay.
So it tells you the distance, it tells you what you're expected to spend, the cost. So if it's not worth it, you don't go. And it helps you compare where you can go to get what service. So if a woman is in labor, for instance, there is no point sending a woman in labor to an orthopedic surgeon, even though yeah, he can take delivery because he's a doctor generally. I'm just trying to paint a picture. The best place to send a woman in labor or delivery to is to an obs and gynecology specialist.
Okay.
So using our application, you can do that. You can differentiate very easily. You just need to state where or what you think your problem is, and you redirect it to who will give you a response. And as our AI gets better, it will be able to dictate what you need. So given certain symptoms, it can tell you you have a chest pain, you have a headache, you have this, it can tell you to see a cardiologist. And it helps you do that using RPA. So if it's an emergency, if a patient is diabetic and there's an emergency, the system directs you to an endocrinologist and helps you even make a call, send an email or text, something like that. So it's a smart system basically.
Smart system, yeah.
So the inventory of our application, this is what it will do. It will have a map on the screen. We have gone a long way with that as well. So using that map, you can know where to go when you need certain services. So you don't send someone with a broken limb to a gynecologist, and you don't send a pregnant woman to an orthopedic surgeon. So it puts everything in in order like that. So that's one of the things we're building. Then for the other component, we've not really shared this with so many people, but we intend to have like the NiMEDix features. What the NiMEDix features will do generally is, if a facility, say X, needs to raise funds for equipment, they can use our tokens to raise funds for the equipment. This will be done transparently. It gives everybody the opportunity to partner with the facility, and using Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies and all of those, give them the opportunity to liquidate anytime as well. So it's way easier for anybody to participate. So hospitals A, B, C, D can raise funds using the NiMEDix futures. So we can tell you, hospital A makes 20 million in 1 year. Do you want to invest in it? Hospital B makes 5 million in 1 year. Tokens for hospital A will cost more because they make more money. Hospital B will cost less because they make less money. So you know exactly where you are investing in. So this helps us raise funds for our facilities. So it's not just going to be about individuals, high net worth individuals, funding hospitals and controlling cost of services, which is, by the way, another problem I wouldn't want to discuss, because you can find a service here for $1 and go to the next facility, and that same service is $50. It's not really regulated in Nigeria. So there is a huge price variation in facilities. Yeah. So these are the things we will approach in long term. So using the NiMEDix futures, people can invest directly in hospitals. So they have a say. Say we invest $50 million in this hospital. You have businessmen that will say, no, things shouldn't be like this. This is too expensive. We shouldn't spend money on this. We shouldn't do that. You have like a governing body to oversee how funds are used. And generally, we understand that it will make the health system better in the long run. So it's just a long road that we, NiMEDix, started. We have laid down the infrastructure. Now we're building on it.
That's a brilliant idea. Best of luck, Ochocha. That's great. And as you said, these ideas are, how to say, the base for a really better life, and not only the economic system or healthcare, but for everybody's life, especially in Africa. Brilliant, brilliant, excellent. Really, best of luck.
Thank you.
I really look forward to see it. I really look forward to see it developed and put into practice. Perfect.
Yeah.
So now I have two questions, which are more general. I always ask to all my guests. First is, what is, in your opinion, what is blockchain? Short, like you mentioned blockchain a lot, and I know it's very important for everybody's like use in the crypto market to develop their project. Is another level of technology, you know, that helps you facilitate many things in your project. But please, what is, in a simple way, what is blockchain for you, and why is important nowadays?
Okay, for me, I would like to see blockchain as a bridge. It's a bridge for me. What we have to do now, the bridge has already been built. Like when you talk about the Bitcoin blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, and all of that, I see them as bridges that have been built. What we need to do as people, we need to begin to create vehicles that can drive on these bridges. So if it's an idea, you think you need to get from A to B, you can use that bridge, which is blockchain, to do. I find blockchain very fascinating, and the fourth industrial revolution very fascinating, given how Bitcoin and the blockchain entirely has changed the way we transact, how we do business, how we trust generally. I see that the fifth industrial revolution will be, the fourth is blockchain, AI, and all of those. I think it is dehumanizing. It pulls humans out of the equation completely. Everything is automated and all of that. The fifth industrial revolution will be how we can connect back to this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The fifth industrial revolution will be how humans can connect back to this. So it's going to be more of AI human interactions, blockchain human interactions, and tech building into bio. So the future is biotech, basically. So blockchain is really, really significant because it changes everything, smart contracts and basically trust, which is our very essence. Trust.
Trust.
The entire monetary system is based on trust.
Exactly.
A doctor seeing a patient, the patient believes he will find solutions to their problems. Trust. You keep your money in the bank. Trust.
Exactly.
You are living in a house with people you know because you trust them.
Exactly.
You don't live with strangers anywhere and all of that. So basically, I think choice and trust are the oldest gifts humanity has ever had. Choice and trust, which for blockchain to reinforce trust in people or how we interact, it's really, really phenomenal. I think blockchain will change the world even far more than the internet did. Blockchain is yet to even start. It's not started yet, I think.
Yes, yeah. If you see other things will come up, believe me, it's just
Yeah,
just walking now, and then it will
yeah,
start running in the system, and they really will change the world for a better and a different, in another level. I think in
yeah,
another level.
yeah.
And thank you, George. And as CEO of NiMEDix, what's your message? What's your advice and message that you would like to give to our audience?
Yeah, I um for me, healthcare, I can say as much as I can as it relates to healthcare. As the CEO of NiMEDix, I know for sure that um, doctors that use technology will replace doctors that don't. There is this, there is this phobia for big tech like AI. I call it the Skynet syndrome. I call it the Skynet syndrome.
Wow, it is. It
Yeah,
is. It's true. It's everywhere. This like people are they hesitate. They are scared.
yeah.
Oh, what is this?
They're
And
scared. Like AI is going to take over the world. AI is going to do that. AI is going to do that.
how can you do
AI
it?
is going to.
What is it? Yeah.
I call it the Skynet syndrome.
Okay.
So um, doctors that doctors that wouldn't want to leverage where technology is headed will be left behind, definitely, because over the years, AI has brought unprecedented amount of data analysis, and what a doctor is about is data. The more data you have on each condition, the better you are. We have we have swung very far in specialization as humans. We go to school, we study, we do all of that to be specialized in one thing. It's just like having a nail. We are specialized in having nails in our hands, but we don't have a hammer. So that swing will come back to that individual that has both the nail and the hammer. So a doctor that has tech has both the hammer and the nail
Yeah.
that makes better work. So for me, that's how I see it. So that's my advice to anyone looking into healthcare generally. And making healthcare better will leverage technology to do good for everyone. COVID-19 has shown us that at the end of the day, health is central.
Exactly.
Without
Health,
without the healthcare system, the whole system fails.
it's broken.
So yeah. So I think more and more health specialists, not just practice of medicine and surgery, pharmacy, and all of that. I think we have to begin to explore technology some more and reduce the reluctance to to deal with technology, because I know healthcare is one sector that is fairly resistant to new technology, generally.
Yeah. Thank you, George. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that we did not cover that you want to say about
Uh,
NiMEDix?
I think this is pretty much it. These things, I think they are very well thought out, and they are very, very well thought out, and it basically covers everything. Basically covers everything from from my side. Any other thing I'll add will be more personal. Um, just how I think the world, how I think the healthcare system will be in a short while, because the truth is we've seen one pandemic several years ago. We've seen so many come here and again. There will still be more.
Of course.
Inevitably, there will still be more. There will be a challenge that we are not ready for all the time. I don't think it should be. We need to try as much to um, use the past to plan for the future.
And to
Yeah,
learn from.
I I was I was at the MIT COVID-19 hackathon,
Okay.
COVID-19 for Africa. I was at the hackathon. I participated with 5 other individuals from different countries, and we were talking. For me, we picked on the possibility of a second wave, because no pandemic has been without a second wave. There's always a second wave,
Second, yeah.
because we just don't learn. Humans don't learn, basically. We just don't learn. So we we designed a chatbot. We did this in 4 days. We designed a chatbot that could help you that could help you analyze your risk, like risk assessment, exposure to COVID-19. And unfortunately, when the judges looked at the project, we built it. We did everything within 4 days and built a working system that could be integrated into WhatsApp and all messaging systems, because we understand. Yes, I would like to add, on our platform, on the NiMEDix Pathfinder, the COVID-19 made us understand that the world was dealing with an infodemic alongside the pandemic. There was a whole lot of wrong information going on out there
Yeah.
about the
A lot.
COVID-19. So
A lot.
so what we did is we have a chat, we have a chat component that could also be integrated into any platform, Facebook, WhatsApp, any messaging system, so that in a situation like this, certified doctors can contribute and make statements to the public. Because we discovered that the wrong information spread first from these clusters,
Yes.
WhatsApp, Facebook, and all of that. That's where the wrong information comes from. So before the CDC reacts, the wrong information is out there. So a counter information becomes difficult to erase. So we have a section for that, that you can get updates on whatever it is, health related content on our platform. So sorry, I had to. It just came back to me when I was talking.
It's very interesting what you are talking about. Nice listening to you, really, how you treat different subjects, and especially for the healthcare. Because as you said, healthcare is the center for every system. If the healthcare doesn't work, doesn't operate right, everything is broken. Everything
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and the way technology is moving at this pace, that AI is moving, more development, augmented reality, better outcomes will always be preferred. So it doesn't matter to the sick person, it doesn't matter if it's a machine that will have to treat them or it's a human. They just want to get better. And if 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 we are not careful, it will come to that reality where you have people communicating with bots other than doctors. Yeah, and that will be really dangerous, because for everybody that will not be a beautiful scenario, but this is a reality that we might face. So in order not to live in that reality with fear, we have to act now. We need to see more professionals come out to say, this is what we want from AI. We must set the limits, because currently there is no limit. You can do anything you want with AI. There is no governing body, nothing. For the much I know. So if it comes to that point when people begin to trust their Google, because it is AI driven, so they can put a couple of symptoms and get a response. In environments like ours where it is expensive and difficult to see a doctor, it will become a preferred choice that will just punch their phones. And it has a lot of downsides as well. It has a lot of downsides because at times it's not just about having so much information and data. You can see some patients really down and they may not need drugs. You just need to talk to them, assure them. You give something very little. At
Support,
times you may decide to use a placebo,
emotional support.
emotional support, and they get better. At times you even use a placebo and they feel better. But the AI system will just do what information you give. It's based on information you have input. So if you put in dirty data, you will get a dirty response. So whatever it is. So basically that's it for me.
Great, Georgia. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, for the insightful conversation.
Thank
Really,
you.
thanks. And I really look forward that you be again the guest of our show, and maybe we will speak for more development. Maybe.
Sure. You can reach me anytime. Anytime you want, you can reach me.
Thank you, Georgia. It was a really pleasure, and thank you so much again for accepting my invitation and for being part of the show.
Thank you.
It really is very insightful, and I wish to you and to your team best of luck and a lot of success going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate. Hope to see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.